What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Happy Saturday. What's this, my third time here today? Yeah. Happy Saturday. Oh, I forgot. no, LT's probably done by now. I forgot to check. So listen, y'all. We about to do this the NYC next gen situation. Now, I had originally told y'all that I was not going to review this show, okay? And I told y'all that I always reserve the right to change my mind, okay? And I decided to change my mind because I saw clips floating around the internets. And I said, wait a minute. Let me go watch this episode because I think I got some things to say. And now that I've watched the episode, I do have some things to say. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you, I don't know if I'm going to have nothing to say all season. I just got to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to have something to say all season. But I got something to say about episode 1. So let's get into it. A part of the reason why I didn't think I was going to enjoy the show is because I really thought it was going to be, I thought it was just going to be a bunch of young kids, and I just didn't think I was going to be able to relate or have anything to really talk about. But I do. I actually have some things to say, so let's get into it. You watched it this morning. They all seem bland. Listen, I think can I be honest and tell y'all that I feel like the spiciest ones are the former housewife kids. Well, not former, are the housewife kids. They're the spiciest ones. Like the ones that we don't really know too much about aren't really giving a lot so far. But definitely the housewife kids are giving us something because, again, they've been, especially Ariana. She is a vet. She's been around this her whole life, right? I think Riley is very, very, very conscious of how she's going to come off. The other reason why I wasn't sure if I wanted to see this, because I was like, I do not want this to be a show full of white people and then the one token color girl, which would be Riley. Ava don't count. We'll get to Miss Ava. Ava don't count. So I shouldn't say that. Ava counts because Ava is black. But y'all will know what I mean when I say Ava don't count. So, and Riley borderline don't count. Ride with me now. Don't yell at me when I say that. So I'm going to just go through the cast, and as I go through the cast, I'm going to kind of give their storyline so far this season, right? I mean, so far for episode 1, I should say. So the first person in the cast, we have Ariana Bierman and her boyfriend, Hudson, who are in the process of moving to New York. Now, Ariana, again, if you've been watching Housewives, y'all know her. She's been on the show since season 1. Her mom is Kim Zolciak Bierman. And she talks about wanting to move to New York because she wants to get into like creating her own clothing line. And of course, there are more opportunities for her to do that in New York than in Atlanta. She did speak on her mom and her dad, who she claims Croy is her dad, basically spending up all her money. She said, I've been on TV since I was 5 years old. I've done multiple reality shows. Then I was an influencer and I was making a lot of money, only to find out about 2 years ago that it was gone. She said the last straw for her is when she found out they were about to lose the house. And she said the biggest issue is the lying. She said honestly, she does not want money to come in between her relationship with her family. So she's never going to let money be an issue. However, she really doesn't appreciate the fact that her mother lies about it, right? Lies about the money, lies about how she's spending the money, where she's spending the money, how much money she has. She says she doesn't even know how much money she earned over the years. All she knows is that it's gone. Now, she does have a regular 9-to-5 job that's remote, so that's why she can move to New York, and she does still do online influencing and stuff like that, but she was like, I need to have something steady, right? So far, Ariana definitely sounds like she's got a pretty good head on her shoulder, especially having grown up in front of the camera and clearly grown up around the drama that is Kim Zolciak. She came down on social media. I saw her TikTok where she was like, look, I don't want, like, I'm not going to turn this into a bashing my mom situation. Like, I love my mom. I'm not mad at my mom. I'm not mad at Croy. It is what it is. The money is gone. I can't do anything about it. And I do not want to allow that to, she said, I've seen people, do some terrible things over money. And I just don't want that to be me. She has a boyfriend, Hudson, and her and Hudson are moving to New York together. They're on a budget. Come to find out that Hudson is the heir to the Zaxby's fortune. But when I looked him up online, they said that he's actually made a name for himself. He's an investor, and he actually makes pretty good money on his own. So he's not necessarily living off of his father, but I'm sure he's got a soft cushion, right? What I also can appreciate from Ariana is, listen, we have to be on the budget because of me. And we saw them looking at apartments, and listen, New York is ridiculous. I don't know how anybody affords to live in New York. I just, baby, that 1-bedroom apartment was $5,000 a month. Hold on. I need y'all to hear that again. That 1-bedroom apartment was $5,000 a month. But what I respect is that she said, hey, Don Boo. What I respect is that she said that even though Hudson can afford to pay the rent, she is not going to allow. I guess their broker was showing them apartments, and the broker was basically like, listen, if y'all want something bigger than what I've been showing y'all gonna have to increase y'all budget. And he was like, for a 2-bedroom apartment in this area where y'all want to live, y'all gonna be knocking on almost $10,000 a month. And Hudson didn't even blink, baby. Hudson was like, all right then. And Ariana was like, yeah, we're not doing that. And what I can respect is that she was like, listen, I'm not going to allow us to move into a situation where I cannot afford the rent on my own. Because I guess what Ariana is saying is, because if you decide to get up and leave me tomorrow, what I'm not going to be is homeless. I can respect that, y'all. I mean, again, I don't know how the rest of this season is going to go. I don't know what we're going to see the rest of this season from her. But I'm going to be honest, in episode 1, I was here for everything Ariana was giving. Even down to her walking around in them busted, old, scuffed up ass Louboutins. I wasn't mad about that. Because she was like, listen, this is what I got in my closet, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And it still probably costs more than the average shoe of the people that I'm walking down the street passing. Okay? Yeah, it's old and it's scuffed up, but it's still a Louboutin. It's still a Louboutin. No, she can't live in that neighborhood then. Now, Shay, you said that reality stars are protected by the Screen Actors Guild. No, they have not always been. That is one of the things that came up during the last actor strike. Remember, that was one of the things where reality stars wanted certain things included from the Screen Actors Guild. So no, reality stars are not protected, or at least they were not. Were not protected under the screen. Oh, you said they aren't. Oh, I thought you were saying they are. My bad. I misunderstood what you said. I misread it. My bad. Okay, yeah. So yeah, my bad, baby. My bad. I misunderstood what you're saying. She definitely didn't learn her skills from her mother. No, and she talked about that. Now, I do feel like if her and Hudson are gonna have an issue, they're gonna have an issue over her mother, because Hudson was saying that he feels some kind of way about the fact that Kim reaches out to her and borrows money from her. I guess it's not bad enough that you done stole all that girl's money. Now you borrowing money from her. Like, come on, Kim. And then Hudson was like, yeah, and she'll call us on FaceTime and be drinking a $200 bottle of wine, asking for money. And Hudson's thing was, at least pay the bill. Like, if she's saying she need the money for the kids, then pay the tuition, buy the groceries. Because he was like, because if you just Zelle that money, we don't know what she's spending that money on. And Ariana was like, she's my mom. What am I supposed to do? And he gave her that look like, you know what you got to do. And he even said something. She even said something along the lines of, she's like, I don't even tell him half the time when she calls him and asks for money. You know, that's not his business, or something like that. But I'm gonna say this: if y'all are living together, and I get it that you're not relying on him for his money. However, if y'all are trying to build into something better, don't let your mom, you say you don't want money to come in between your relationship with your family. Baby, don't let your family come into your in between your relationship with your mama. I mean, with your boyfriend. Don't let him be the reason. I mean, don't let her be the reason that your relationship don't work out either. Because Hudson sounded like he wasn't here for it. But again, what I respect is that he didn't drag Kim, but he let it be known he wasn't happy about Kim. Okay. They're right. Not only are they a couple, Shay, they're a couple that are living together. Like, it'd be different if they were just dating and he had his own apartment and she had her own apartment. But baby, we are living together. So and I'm not saying that he has a right to tell her where to spend her money, but he definitely has a right to have an opinion about what she's doing with her money. And I'm sure as her boyfriend, I think they've been dating a couple of years. I think they've been together for a minute. I don't remember the exact amount of time, but they've been together for I think like 2 years or something. He definitely has a say coming from the point of view of he know your mama spent all your damn money. I mean, like I'm sure as your boyfriend, he feels some kind of way about that, you know? So anyway, so far, and from the preview, it looks like I'm gonna like Hudson too, because the preview looked like Hudson checks Charlie, and we're gonna get to Mr. Charlie in a minute. But let's okay. So those are the first two. Then we have Riley. We honestly didn't see a lot from Riley this episode as far as her personal storyline. I'm not really sure what her personal storyline is gonna be. What we did see is that she's graduated from NYU. She's got her degree in music business. And she wants to get into the music industry. And she said that she really got to figure it out because she said her mama only gave her a year to be on her dime. So, and I feel like at one point Riley said she wanted to go to law school. So maybe she no longer is interested in going to law school. So I'm sure that takes us, we'll get deeper into that. But so far, that's really all we got to know. Now, Riley is friends with Brooks because they went to NYU together. Brooks, we're going to get to him in a second, but Brooks, Meredith Marks' son from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They went to NYU together. They met at BravoCon. Gia and Riley know each other. I wouldn't say they're friends, but they met at BravoCon and they've been around each other. Riley and Brooks are friendly. I don't think they're like best friends, but I feel like they've hung out and they've spent some time together in New York. Okay. So then we have Ava Dash. Ava Dash is Damon Dash's daughter. She is like a supermodel, making her own money, living her best life. We first met Ava Dash on Growing Up Hip Hop, right? Her and her brother were on Growing Up Hip Hop. That's the first time that Brooks' voice is annoying, just like his mother's voice is annoying. He gets it honest. But it's funny because the impression I got of Brooks on this first episode is totally different than the impression I got of Brooks from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I thought he was a brat. I thought he was just a brat. He was annoying. He was spoiled. He was rude. Like I didn't get that from him on this first episode. So I'm not sure which one is the real Brooks, or maybe he's just matured since we first met him. I don't know. We didn't get a lot of Ava's storyline this episode either. We saw her filming with her dad and her little sister. We know that her mom is Rachel Roy, big time clothing designer. So again, I feel like we'll weave into her storyline a little bit later on in the season as well. We did not get a lot of her. Amaya Despain, she went to NYU. She's become an influencer, and she's very, 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 very successful. A very successful influencer. She said that when she was at NYU, she didn't really feel like she was beautiful. She didn't feel like she was that bitch, but now she definitely does. She's had some surgery. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? I love me some you. Is NYU a liberal arts college? I thought the girls went to Juilliard. It's definitely a liberal art school. NYU is definitely liberal. Very liberal arts school. Is she trans? I didn't think so. Is she? Did I miss that? Thank you for the super chat, boo. Did that go over my head? Maybe she is. Because she said when she was at NYU, she was busted, but she's had all of this surgery done. And maybe she is. Did that go over my head? Huh. Yeah, I had no idea. That totally, I had no clue. Oh my gosh. Now, some of what she said about being at NYU and being busted and having all of this surgery, now that makes some sense. I did not know that. She made history. She made Bravo history as being the first trans full-time cast member. I did not know that. Wow. Wow. Well, listen, thank y'all. I did not know that. And I mean, I didn't pay that much attention to her, child. Huh. Okay, so she is trans. Okay. So we may or may not get deeper into that as the season goes on, because they didn't bring nothing about that up on the first episode. They ain't say nothing about that. So, I mean, other than her talking about her being busted and all of that. So maybe we'll pick up on that later on in the season, child. Okay. Wow. Huh. Because she's a Victoria's Secret model and everything. Okay. Huh. Look at me learning something. Okay. Now, I think Riley's storyline might come into play too with her and Ariana, because she did talk about how her and Ariana, when they were younger, they were friends, but once their mothers fell out, they didn't really see each other, because she was like, why would my mother take me to go over a person's house who she was no longer friends with? It's a fly in here, and that thing just landed on my hand. Where did the fly go? I don't even know how I got in here. I ain't even opened up the door. It just started flying around. Right. Happy Pride Month, Candace. We're talking about the next gen NYC. Okay. Now there are a couple of people on here who they're not. I don't know who they are, and we really didn't see a lot of their story this first episode. And so Shari Freicher is one. We saw him, but we have no idea who. No, Ava, not Ava. Amira is trans. We saw Ari filming with like Charlie and stuff, but don't know too much about him. So I'll wait until we get more of his storyline. Then we see Miss Gia Giudice. Child, we know who Gia is, okay? Gia Giudice, again, another one who is a reality TV vet. She has been on The Real Housewives of New Jersey since she was like 6 years old. So she is definitely a vet to the game. And she still lives in New Jersey. And she said, listen, it's a lot for me to go from New Jersey to New York. So if I come into the city, it better be for something good, okay? If y'all are inviting me to the New York of the city, it better be for a good reason. So we saw her about halfway through the episode. Her and Brooks seem to be really good friends. Is there more than one season, though? Is there more than a one season, though? What you mean, Kenneth? I don't know what you're talking about. What's Georgia? Oh, Lord. What's Georgia? Child, we're going to get to Georgia in a minute. No, yeah, Georgia's the one that didn't wash her hands. Yeah, no, we're going to get to Miss Georgia in a second. Not that child looks like she's worked an 80-hour week, child. We didn't really get a lot of Gia until towards the end of the episode with Brooks and everything, but we're going to get to that in a second. Brooks Marks, his mother is Meredith Marks from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He is like her creative director for her business, but he says that the two of them, they're really good. Like they're really close as mother son, but they don't work so well together. He was like, my mama fires me like every other week, but it is what it is. We saw him doing a photo shoot with his mom. We saw Chloe, and we're gonna get into that in a second. We saw Chloe. Um, the way they made Riley out to be a problem, always those damn white women. You mean on the episode or in the previews? Then we have Charlie Zachauer. He is a crypto trader. His dad is a very successful trader, and he said he gets the money his father sends him and he invested in crypto. Charlie's an asshole. I don't really have nothing else to say to add to that. Charlie's an asshole. And Charlie knows he's an asshole, and Charlie likes being an asshole. Brooks said that when he first met Charlie, Charlie was in a relationship, and he was a totally different person than who he is now that he is single. I don't know if I believe that, Brooks. I think, y'all want me to tell y'all what I think about Brooks, about this situation? Y'all not going to like what I'm about to say, but this is what I'm about to say. I feel like when Brooks first met Charlie, Charlie was in a relationship. I think Brooks has a little crush on Charlie. And now that Charlie is single, there's a part of Brooks that feels like he's got a shot, but not realizing or accepting the fact that Charlie is very much a straight man and is not interested in him. So I think part of his issue, we're going to get to the thing with his sister, because his issues with Charlie and his sister are legit. But I also think that a part of Brooks got a little crush on Charlie. And when he was like, when I first met Charlie, he was in a relationship. But now that he's single, he's totally different. The way he said that, I honestly feel like he felt like he's supposed to have that. What's up, princess? Hey, boo. I honestly feel like that in his mind, he's got a shot, and now his shot is gone. Like, and so we're going to get to that. And I could be wrong. I really could be wrong, but that's how I feel. I really feel like he got a little crush on Charlie. Because we're going to get to that. I'm almost done. Last but not least is Georgia McLeroy. She's a party planner. Let me tell y'all about Georgia. Georgia tries too hard. Georgia is trying to be different. She's trying to be quirky. She's trying to be that person. Because again, going back to what I've been saying for the last 2 years about reality shows and people understanding the formula and people understanding that somebody's got to be the quirky, somebody's got to be the bitch, somebody's got to be the this, there's a formula that they're looking for. Georgia is trying to be that person. Even if I hadn't seen that clip, which we're going to get to her and her washing her hands in a minute. But when they first showed her and she was combing her hair with a fork, girl, why? Like, who does that? Like, no normal, regular person in the privacy of their own home sits in front of the bathroom and has, first of all, who the fuck got a fork in their bathroom? I could even see if she was in the kitchen and was like, oh shit, I need something. Girl, you were literally in the bathroom. How do you just... So when I saw her brushing or combing her hair with a fork, I said, you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. Right. Nobody except Ariel. Right. And we give her a pass. She's a mermaid. She had to go with what she found in the ocean. Okay. We are going to give her, a pass. So, and also I'm going to tell you another thing about Georgia. Georgia has an insecurity because she's the poor one in the cast. We're going to call the thing a thing, y'all. She's the poor one. She said that her whole life, her family has hovered between being poor and middle class. And basically she works as hard and she hustles as hard as she does because she doesn't want to be poor. Right. She also, she talked about how close her and Charlie were. Charlie said, yeah, because at one point she was like sleeping on my couch. And, every night she was sleeping on my couch. Why are you sleeping on Charlie's couch every night? Because Charlie probably got a really nice ass apartment that always got a stocked refrigerator, always like it's a good time and it's proximity to money. But she has to do something to stand out and be different. And so hence oh, I'm going to be quirky and I'm going to act like I'm this elitist and I'm going to quote 80s movies. Girl, I love When Harry Met Sally. I could probably still do the dialogue to When Harry Met Sally because I have seen that movie so many damn times. But the average 20-year-old not only has not seen When Harry Met Sally, ain't heard of it. Riley thought it was a TV show. She said, I've never even seen that show. Girl, it's a movie. But the average 20-year-old, unless their parents grew up watching When Harry Met Sally, girl, the average 20-year-old ain't watching When Harry Met Sally. Now that is the cast. So let's get into what happened in this first episode. So when Harry Met Sally is amazing. It's a great movie, but the average 20-year-old hasn't seen it. I mean, I would recommend it to anybody. We can have a movie night and watch it together. But the average 20-year-old has not seen When Harry Met Sally. You never wanted to watch it. Oh, Princess is really good. It's really, really, really good. I think it's good. But again, you can't compare it to 2025. You got to go back to the 90s or even the 80s. When Harry Met Sally come out? It came out in the 80s. It's a really good movie. I thought it was. Anyway. And again, I'll watch it now. Hell, I might watch it tonight. Now that we talking about it, I might go watch it tonight because I ain't seen it in a couple of years. So I might go watch it tonight. But it's a really, really good movie. That Hellman's commercial is with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal is a parody off of that infamous scene that George is talking about when Meg Ryan fakes the orgasm in the middle of the deli. It's like that Hellman's, it's the whole parody of it, which would probably go over most people's head that never seen the movie. 1989. Thank you, Ravine. Yeah. So, yeah. You haven't seen it? Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I might go back and watch it. Okay, so let's get into it. So, Brooke's sister Chloe was on this episode. She's not listed as a cast member, so I feel like she's not going to be, either she's not a cast, maybe she didn't film enough to be a cast member or whatever the situation is. But Charlie, Brooks, and Chloe are hanging out at one of Brooks's photo shoots, and Charlie starts flirting with Chloe. Immediately, Brooks has an issue with Charlie flirting with Chloe. Immediately. The same person who said she didn't know who Ben Affleck was. Exactly. So they anyway, so Brooks has an issue with Charlie asking Chloe out on a date. And Charlie's like, I'll be good, I'll be respectful, don't worry about it, yada yada yada. So we see Chloe actually go out on a date with with Charlie. And it seemed to be a pretty decent, date. No big deal. No extras, whatever. But then, right, I'll have what she's having. Exactly, Princess. Exactly. Oh, that's the only thing you know about the movie. Oh, okay. It's a really funny scene. You gotta see the movie. Anyway, but they, at some point that night, Charlie texts Brooks and says, hey, we're going to be hanging out. Why don't you meet me at such and such unless me and Chloe end up back at my place. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all and tell y'all, I didn't take that no kind of way. Maybe I'm old. Maybe there's something in that dialogue that I should have taken offense to, and I didn't. I didn't automatically take that to mean that Charlie was saying, unless me and your sister are in bed, unless me and your sister kick it, unless, like, I took that to mean we may or may not go out for drinks and we may be back at my place. Now, a part of this might play into the fact that Brooks does know Charlie, and maybe that's Charlie's MO, right? Maybe that's when he says back at my place, that's a euphemism for we're going to get it in. We're going to sleep together, right? Maybe that's what it is. Because honestly, I didn't take it no kind of way. I did not take it to mean immediately what Brooks took it as. And let me tell you why. Other people didn't take it that way either. Because everybody he said that to, he had to explain why he had an issue with it. When he said it to Gia, Gia's first reaction wasn't to have a problem with it. She didn't have an issue with it until Brooks said that's how he took it. And he had a problem with it. And he felt like it was disrespectful. Riley sort of was kind of like, oh, why would he say that? And then when Brooks was like, yeah, because that was disrespectful. Why would he text me about sleeping with my sister? Then Riley was like, oh, I felt like everybody else took it like, oh. I didn't hear everybody else getting offended until Brooks said he was offended. Now, let me say this. Whether you mean to offend me or not, once I tell you that what you said offended me, if you are my friend, I feel like you should take that. You should respect that I'm telling you that you just offended me. Don't tell me I wasn't offended. Don't tell me it's not a big deal. Don't tell me that if you didn't mean it any kind of way, then just say I didn't mean it any kind of way. But don't sit here and make me feel like I'm telling you that that's my sister and I'm offended by what you said about my sister. Respect it. But Charlie don't have none of that in him. Charlie don't have no respect in him. So they go to Amira's fashion show. And it's their first like group scene because earlier on they went out to like a little club or whatever, and it was like Charlie and Brooks and Georgia, yada yada yada. But their first like group scene, everybody went to this fashion show, and then they met up afterwards with the rest of the crew, met them for drinks or whatever. So in our very first group scene, Brooks is feeling some kind of way, but Brooks is not comfortable enough to tell Charlie that he's feeling some kind of way because he was like, I don't like confrontation. I'm really uncomfortable trying to, I'm really uncomfortable with confrontation, and I really don't feel comfortable saying anything. So Gia basically says, he felt like what you texted him was disrespectful. Now, Charlie's first response was, no, I didn't. I didn't say that. I didn't say going back to my place. So he pulled out his phone and they opened up the text message and literally he said it. So once it was proven that he said it, then it was kind of like, all right, Charlie, you said it. Brooks told you he was offended by it. What you got to say? So then Charlie was just like, I mean, I ain't mean nothing by it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't mean anything by it. So brother won't really be no talking. So then he was like, well, he did eventually apologize. And Georgia was like, do you even know what you're apologizing for? He was like, no. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but I'm apologizing. And again, to me, you saying you don't know why. No, Ava said that. Ava was like, so why? Do you know why you're apologizing? No. To me, once again, I literally just told you why I was upset. I told you why I felt some kind of way about it. I told you why I felt like it was disrespectful. So you may not like or agree with, but you do know why, because I literally just told you why. So when I say Charlie is an ass, Charlie is absolutely an ass. Now, while all of this is going on, the guys go outside to smoke. The girls go to the bathroom. And it's so funny because, listen, production is shady. Because why production going to have, because, they still got their mic packs on. So literally you hear Riley saying, oh my God, you're not going to wash your hands? And Georgia was like, I really don't believe in that. Baby, Riley said, I don't know whether to take you seriously or not. like, I know you playing. Like, I know you really are getting ready to wash your hands. Like, I know you're not serious. Baby, she said, oh no, I'm dead serious. Like, I don't really believe in that. Oh, because early on, when Ava, before we get to that, early on when Ava showed up, she said she had just come from a Manolo Blahnik event, and Georgia touched the bottom of her shoes. And everybody was like, oh my God, did you just touch the bottom of her shoes? Like, she's literally been walking around New York all day, like the streets of New York. First of all, why would you, I don't care if all she did was walk around the shoe store. Why are you touching the bottom of her shoes? Who does that? Who touches the bottom of anybody's shoes if they don't have to? And when I do have to touch the bottom of my shoes by accident, I literally immediately go wash my hands. I mean, Ugh. So they come back out. Now, Riley, this is where you... And let me say this. I ain't even going to say where that Riley was wrong, because I have literally done that, and I've had people do that. I've had people do that at work. And I've done that. I ain't gonna lie, I've done it. I'd be like, she didn't wash her hands. I was in the bathroom with her and she did not wash her hands. Like, and I've had people come up to me and be like, he don't wash his hands. Like when I was in the bathroom with him, he did not wash his hands. Like we have literally done that. So I ain't gonna say that Riley was being messy, because we have literally all done that before, right? We have literally all done that. So Riley comes out, and now Gia was in the bathroom. I'm not sure who else, but I know it was Gia, and I think maybe Ava, but I definitely know Gia was in the bathroom. And so they all were like, yeah, she did not wash her hands. She didn't wash her hands. And Georgia was like, what's the big deal? Like, I literally don't believe in that. Like, what'd she say? I'm a pro-germer or something like that. Now, let me say this. Your body does have to build up a resistance. Like you can't shield from every single thing as a child, right? I have heard that before, but we ain't talking about washing your hands. We're not talking about that. But did y'all catch Riley? Did y'all catch Riley when she said, like, I don't have allergies. I've never had the flu. Like my body, she was like, my body, I guess she was saying my body, can fight this stuff off because I've been exposed to so many germs. Here go Riley. Yeah, your body definitely has had to adjust. Riley said, your body definitely has had to adjust. Baby, that thing cracked me up. Okay. So then here go Charlie. I guess in his confessional, production must have asked him, I don't care if she washes her hands. I don't wash my hands every time I use the bathroom. My dick is clean. First of all, you don't even look like your dick is clean. So you don't look like you wash regularly. You look like you roll out the bed. You might not even brush your teeth, okay? You look like you roll out of bed. You look like you do that to your hair. You probably put more energy into making sure your hair is appropriate than you put into your body hygiene. I just don't see it. I don't. Right. He looks like a walking STD. He does. You'd be amazed at how many healthcare workers don't wash their hands after using the restroom. Let me say this though. Can we, I'm not talking about nobody in this room. I'm just saying in general. We're gonna be honest and say that there are people that probably do not wash their hands every single time they go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna sit here and act like everybody in the world washes their hands every single time. However, you know that is what is the societal expectation, is that you wash your hands. So if you are at a bathroom full of people, you know that's what the expectation is. And for you to not only not do it, but then come up with an excuse or a reason why you're not going to do it, and why you're not going to do it. And then for Charlie to be like, I don't care. I could care less if she washes her hands. So then I don't know anything. They didn't say anything about that about Charlie. I don't know anything about Charlie having a drug problem. They didn't come up. And let me tell you something. When that girl got ready to leave and went to go touch Riley, and Riley hit her with the, you ain't wash your hands. Don't, Baby, the way she leaned over to say goodbye to Riley and went to go touch Riley, and Riley hit her with the, You can't. Baby, Riley meant that thing. Riley meant that thing, honey. Riley said, Baby, when I say that thing cracked me up, Riley meant that. Right, Riley hit her with the Matrix. Now, here's what pissed me off, though, Georgia. See, this is how people be flipping shit. Because Georgia, as she was walking off, and in her confessional was like, I've literally known her like 5 minutes, and she wants to tell me what to do with my body. Riley didn't tell you what to do with your body. Riley told you was nasty for not doing what you should be doing with your body. She didn't tell you what to do. She just told you was nasty for not doing it. Okay? There's a difference. And then she gonna say, whatever happened to my body, my choice. Girl, again, Riley didn't tell you what you couldn't do with your body. Riley just said, if this is what you choose to do with your body, you cannot have access to my body. And that kind of goes back to people that's like, well, we have freedom of choice, but we don't have freedom of consequence. We have freedom of choice in this country, but we do not have freedom of consequence. So you have every right to decide that you don't want to wash your nasty ass hands. But what you do not have a right to is to touch me. Right, exactly, princess. It's definitely not about that. It's about pregnancy, ma'am. Right, pregnancy and sex, absolutely. So that is what pissed me off about it, is because Georgia is trying to make it seem like Riley is wrong or Riley turned this into something. Ma'am, you have every right to feel how you feel. But you just can't touch me. And here's the reality. No, we do not know what everybody does in their privacy of the bathroom when we're not around them. But when I do see it, then I do know. And when I do see it, then I will act accordingly. Right, trying to make this a my body, my choice. Girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, go sit your ass down. So, y'all, I think it was a really solid first episode. I guess we'll get more into other people's storylines, but the main storyline this episode was Ariana looking for an apartment, the Brooks, Chris, Chloe triangle situation, and nasty ass Georgia. And I don't even think that was supposed to be a storyline. I just think Georgia is nasty, and it has become one. So we'll see. I have it in my DVR, so it'll pick it up next. I think it comes on Wednesday nights, I think. So here's the thing about the Real Housewives of Miami, y'all. It comes on at 9:00. So I think the panel is going to be on Thursdays. I'm going to try, because school is only going to be in for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do it on Wednesday at like 10:15. The only thing is, y'all, I can't be there for like 2 hours because y'all know I got to go to bed. I thought it came on Wednesday night. It's coming on Tuesday night. My bad. Okay, so it's coming on Tuesday. Oh, you're saying which? Okay, you're saying that the show that Real NYC comes, the next gen comes on Tuesday nights. So yeah, I gotta be in bed. Yes, I gotta be in bed because baby, I gotta get up in the morning. But because we really only have 2 more weeks of school, like I have this Wednesday and next Wednesday, and then the Wednesday after that. Actually, the Wednesday after that, I'll be in Florida at Disney World, but I'm going to thug it out. I'm going to try to thug it out this Wednesday and next Wednesday. And then the rest of the summer shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to try to thug it out, y'all. So I'm going to try to do it on Wednesday after the show. Only because if we do the panel on Friday. Well, the problem, Cajun, is I like to do my reviews before I do the panel. Because I don't want my views to be swayed by anybody else. What anybody else is saying. So I really like to do my review And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to do my review on Thursday when I get home from work and then turn around and have to do it again on the panel 2 hours later. I would prefer not to do that. I would prefer not to talk about it twice in one day. So I'm going to try to thug it out Wednesday night because, like I said, it's just 2 more Wednesdays. It's this Wednesday and next Wednesday. And then I'm off for the summer and I can review it, Wednesday night. And by the time it's time for me to go back to school, the season will probably be over. If not over, damn near over. So, yeah, I'm going to try to thug it out, y'all. So, yeah. Tomorrow is Never Ever Meets. And then I got to lock up this interview. We're supposed to be doing the interview tomorrow, but I'm about to text him now and double check the time. And then, of course, the Real Housewives of Potomac around 9-ish. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here and chill out the rest of the evening. Thank y'all for hanging with me. Some of y'all been in here all day with me, child, from one live to the next. I want to thank y'all, and I will check on y'all. I will check y'all out tomorrow. Mwah. No, we're not, Cajun. We're never doing that. Never. Goodbye.